All right, best bets for the New York Football Giants. Do I want to get my? I don't have a ton. I got under 6.5 wins. That is a very strong play for me. Missed playoffs. You're laying too much juice. I do think they will be in the mix. Like Kramer said, spending a high pick on a quarterback next year. I think fewest wins at 10-1 is a good price. I'm in on that market. I was going to say last team winless, but the fact that they do play the Commanders early and that Vikings game, I don't know. I think those are two toss-up games, but I do think they're not going to have a ton of wins this year. And my underdog play, love it. Daniel Jones lower 16.5 passing yards. I'm predicting Daniel Jones to throw 14 passing touchdowns this season in 17 fully healthy games. He has never listen to the last years of touchdowns, 2, 15, 10, 11. So even in 2023, where everything broke right for the Giants, they got into the playoffs. His quarterback play, arguably the best of his career, still only 15 passing touchdowns. I think if they are scoring touchdowns, it's
you left off the year where he had the aggressive offensive coordinator
2019
that we've been referencing,
his rookie year. Yes.
And then Jason Garrett. And that's when they chopped his dick off and taught him to not throw the ball down the field.
Okay.
I'm just playing. You should include all the data.
Okay. But
you're
the guy
the fans are going to be upset.
So
with you.
Why did Brian Dabol not tell him to throw the ball down the field in 2022?
So in 2022, they came in, they wanted to do that. It didn't work. They adjusted the offense.
Wasn't that Galladay?
Well, and honestly, I take that back. 2022, they didn't have the team for it, and so that team was very much about getting the ball out quick and running the ball, and they won some close games. The next year, they did try to push the ball down the field, and if you remember, part of the reason why the season was a fucking dumpster fire is because he wasn't taking the shots outside of that Cardinals game.
Okay,
and so yeah, I think the hope is that he realizes that the offense is not being adjusted. This is the offense, and if he wants to be successful, he's going to have to take these shots.
So he had 2 passing touchdowns in last year in 6 games, and the thought is he's going to have way more in 6 games this year because he understands he has to throw the ball deeper.
The offense will be stressing taking the shots down the field, something he avoided doing last year. Yes.
Okay, I disagree with his ability to understand that and be successful.
Deep ball is the best thing he has, like Terrell is saying. Like he mentally got away from it, and if he can mentally allow it back in his life, things might be good.
It might be, but I'm going to be on the other side, lower 16.5 passing touchdowns. That's all I got. I don't think he's
really. That's all you got.
I don't think Daniel Jones is going to lead the league in interceptions. I don't, and even fantasy stuff. Maybe Tyrone Tracy is a interesting best ball play. Malik Nabers, to your point, Kramer. Yeah, I think he could have a good fantasy year. You're also drafting him super high. But I'm sure
you're not drafting him high for guys who are going to see 150 targets.
Okay. Yeah. If he gets 150 targets, you're right. He probably is a steal at ADP, but I'm with Terrell. I don't know if the offense is going to be out there enough to warrant 150 targets. Kramer, get the laundry list out. What do you got for the Giants? Over 6.5 wins. I already have you down for.
Over that. That sounds good. All right. So just to recap the Malik Nabers stuff, make sure you got it all. Which I really like Terrell. So we're going to grab the Malik Nabers most receiving yards for a rookie 5-1.
Okay.
/ all the players 93-1. That's the ticket.
Hold on. Let me.
It's going to take a while. We also like
that one's 93-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Malik Nabers offensive rookie of the year plus 1350. I can't wait to have a collage of these tickets.
Okay.
Malik Nabers offensive player of the year 275-1. I mean, that is value hunting at its best right there.
275-1.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
I have a just in case Daniel Jones MVP.
Break in case of glass.
300-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I'll definitely book that.
Well, I already booked it, so don't worry. I got it. We also have a just in case Giants win the Super Bowl 150-1. Giants win division at 15-1. I couldn't believe I found a 15-1.
Really?
Yeah. Shout out to places that offer no's. And then I guess people are betting the no a lot. And then let's see what else. I'll take a break.
Okay.
I think that sorry, Josh. There's a lot for me.
What was your underdog play for the Giants?
All right, I'll get to that. So I did not. I think it is Malik Nabers to go higher than 900.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
Very simply, he's going to see a number of targets. Darius Slayton has sniffed this in a situation where he was not wanted for a couple of years, and so Malik Nabers, if you believe the prospect hype, I'm certainly going to take higher in his receiving yards. Terrell, what are you doing?
All right. I have some good. I have some bad in terms
Ooh.
of fandom, which is why I told you again in the beginning. I think we both made some points, and which is why I have this team literally as a middle of the road team. So unfortunately, I will sweat the over on the 6.5 wins.
Nice. See, Terrell, if you're in Vegas with us week 1 and we win, you know you're going to get excited.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna be the most excited person in the room because I thought it was a loss. Do you remember when we saw us beat the Titans? I thought we were losing that game. I thought we were losing the game.
It was a different era. The joy you guys had. New head coach.
Terrell just kept screaming, "We don't win that game. We don't win that game."
Like there was no way we was winning that game anytime before that. No way. All right, so. I will sweat the over 6.5 wins. I have Daniel Jones here and a couple of fades, over 8.5 interceptions plus money.
Ooh, okay.
Even money for over 8.5. First of all, if he plays, because we cannot talk about injuries and it's non-linear. We don't know who's going to get injured when. It's really freak things. If he plays, he's having double-digit interceptions. Yeah, Sean knows. I'm sorry, Sean knows, but everybody else doesn't.
When you're a running back and you have 400 plus touches the season before, you will get injured.
Sean, what was his most?
Show me a time I'm wrong.
Sean, what was his most interceptions prop?
Daniel Jones. I'll look up the price.
I can tell you right here because I have it. 40 to 1.
Nice. I agree with Terrell here. He's being handicapped like a guy that's not going to take a chance, and I think he has to take the chances this year.
Ryan,
or you lose your job. Yeah. It's either take the chance and try to make a play or lose your job.
And what was the number, Terrell?
40 to 1's crazy.
No. What was the prop? 8.5.
8.5. How does he not have double-digit interceptions? Like, how does he get through this entire? If he plays 17 games,
I think good. Or the only way this doesn't work is if he gets hurt. That's in my opinion. 8.5 interceptions. Yeah, that might be a mortal lock.
And if he gets hurt, we probably have a good season. So you know what? I'm perfectly fine hedging that bet with us having a good season and Daniel Jones getting hurt. So interceptions it's going to happen. Like if he has a Jameis Winston season, I wouldn't be surprised because I think the offensive line actually is a little bit better. Like so, if this is a Jameis season. 40. Yeah, like if this is that season, I would not be surprised. Like I really do think Daniel Jones had the only thing that throws him off with us and the interception prop is the fact that he's afraid to make a mistake. Back when we had Eli, that was the thing I loved about Eli. Eli didn't care if he was going to make a mistake. I might throw an interception, but defense will get it back and we'll go again. I don't care. Daniel Jones, he's like, I'm not going to throw the ball downfield because I'm afraid to make an interception. Well, guess what? Now you're either going to be without a job if you don't try, or you're going to go down there and make a play. And most often he's probably going to make a bad play. So interceptions just seem easy.
Jameis, you're making a great case. You talked me into most interceptions and is over 8.5 interceptions. Jameis Winston 2019 had 5,100 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
I'd like to also throw. You asked me who was the starting quarterback for the Giants week 1 next year.
Oh, Jameis.
I would love for Jameis to be that they bring in. Please bring Jameis in. Imagine a quarterback room with Tommy DeVito, Jameis Winston. And I don't even know who.
Insert rookie quarterback.
Deshaun Watson.
Imagine Shedeur Sanders and Jameis Winston in the same locker room.
You got to talk. Is Shedeur Sanders good, Terrell?
I think he can be. I really do think he can be. I just think it's a 0% chance he goes to the Giants. Like there's a zero. Like if the Giants were to draft him, it would be inverse of the Eli situation. Like there's this. The chance he plays a snap for the Giants. They hate the Giants. Like all the Sanders, they hate the Giants.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the match, but All right, so Terrell, we got you down for over 8.5 interceptions, over 6.5 wins. What else you like on the Giants card?
I have the Giants for the most sacks in the season, 101. That's my dog.
Oh wow,
Jesus Christ!
That's
All
my
right,
big dog.
right. Give me that one. Yeah, I did know they don't have that. We need to talk to our boy Jeff Benson at the circuit. They didn't have team sacks.
Ooh. I mean, as an impartial observer, yeah, I certainly at that price, it's intriguing. I'm not betting it, but
I feel like half the league is that price.
Yeah, because they know they know a couple teams are just going to dominate in sacks. All right, Terrell. So most sacks, 100-1. That's a fun long shot.
Yep, fun long shot there. What else do we have? Okay, so I have Giants over 2.5 division wins plus 150. We getting 2 free ones against the Commanders. You just got to win 1 game out of 4 between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Just 1. That's it. I just need 1 game between the Cowboys and Eagles. We have 2 against the Commanders. Locked in. It's happening.
It is odd to me how the world is not up to speed and how the Giants just own like.
That's why we have the flow charts.
There was the weird COVID year where the Commanders won, or the football team won a couple, but since they name changed the Commanders, they can't beat the Giants.
Have they?
Daniel Jones has a winning record against you. That's like you're just a bad team. Like that's actually an organizational problem, and you really just got to start from the top down and get rid of everybody. Like the fact that Daniel Jones has a winning record against you.
Again, I stress to people that they don't lose the Commanders games.
Hmm.
All right, what else you got, Terrell?
That was the last one. I'm really not bullish on this team too much, but the Malik Nabers. Oh, don't forget to add the Malik Nabers most rookie passing yards, because I truly do believe
that's a great one.
Like Marvin Harrison is the one person to beat, and there's a bunch of ways that I could sit here and convince myself that the Cardinals are not going to be good at all. And the fact that it's just the target workload that he's going to get. And if they actually go to the deep ball, this is a no-brainer. Like if he actually gets a bunch of deep ball attempts and he's able to convert those, this is a clear no-brainer to me. And it actually makes me questionably want to take his over on touchdowns, but I just can't get there yet because I have to see it to believe it, to know the Giants are going to throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield.
Now, any underdog pick 'em you liked for the season long, Terrell?
So my underdog didn't have the pick 'em lines. Can you run me off a couple of those?
They're pretty in line with the props. They're offering Nabers touchdowns and yards, Wandell yards, Brian Burns sacks, which I'm guessing is where you would go. Dan Jones yards and touchdowns, and Singletary touchdowns and yards. But yeah, my second favorite. Don't have
Thibodeau sacks.
No, but my second favorite is I do think listening to the coaches and especially the assistant coaches talk about the goal this year. So two critical things have happened. One, they're talking a lot about how the design of the defense is going to be to free up Brian Burns, which tells me he's going to be the joker. Secondly, if you're not familiar, the Giants have a defensive line coach named Andre Patterson. He's been credited with a lot of the Vikings players' success. They brought him over. Dabol brought him over. Pretty much is given credit for unlocking Dexter Lawrence, who has, probably top of the league hand play. Well, he's been working with the edge guys this year for the first time. And I fully expect both Kayvon and even Aziz, because Ojulari at times has looked like a dominant force. Think back to that playoff game. Yep. So Brian Burns, these guys with this added coaching, I think Brian Burns is almost a sure thing to get higher than the 8 3/4. So
yeah, I agree.
That would be the angle.
I think that, and just the fact of he already got his money. He's already gotten paid. Let's free him up and let's make him look better than the guy that we're gonna have to pay in the future, and we're gonna have to, like just Terrell. In that aspect of a little GM talk. And it's Joe Shane trying to keep his job. Like you heard his son on Hard Knocks. You only get one shot at this job. You might as well win. So you went out and you went and got Brian Burns. You made the trade. You do all this stuff. You got to make him look good. And so the pass rush is clearly like by far away. Like it's not even close. This is the best aspect of this team, and they understand how bad their secondary is, and they need sacks to keep themselves in games.
I also just in general, I think that again, Andre Patterson thing is huge. I fully expect the defensive line to get after it. So